Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Advice to Think Twice. My name is Monica and I'm here with our daily advice for October 30th, 2017. I hope everyone has had a nice weekend, and we're going to look at what the energies are for us today, what we're dealing with, and what we need to know for our highest good. So the first card that we have representing the influence of the past on our current situation, we have the Queen of Swords. So with the Queen of Swords, this talks about a time in our lives where or when we had to be the Queen of Swords. We had to put our emotions aside and just make the right decisions, just make rational decisions, just rely on logic and doing what is right for ourselves and the people that we were responsible for. The Queen of Swords is someone who makes very clear-cut decisions. She sees through people, she sees through whatever situation is going on, she sees the truth of it, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. She's not afraid to cut people out, cut situations out of her life if they are unfair or just negative or toxic. And so this can also talk about a time in our lives when we experienced sorrow, separation, breakup, divorce, disappointment and betrayal. Okay, and we took it as a lesson. We put our emotions to the side because it was too painful to deal with it from an emotional point of view, and we tried to see the bigger picture, and we tried to be rational about it, and we tried to keep moving forward and do the right thing for ourselves. Okay, the Queen of Swords is not someone without sentiment. She just understands her emotions from a rational perspective, if that makes sense, and knows when they're going to do more harm than good, and so she can control them and keep them out of her decision-making process. And so that's what the Queen of Swords represents. Okay, a difficult time in our lives. It was difficult, it was challenging, it was painful, and maybe too painful to deal with emotionally. And so we just had to focus on the bigger picture, put our emotions to the side, and just keep ourselves moving in the right direction. Look at it as a lesson, process it rationally, logically, and just keep ourselves going. Okay, focus on our responsibilities, focus on the right thing, and so on. For today, we have the Moon. With the Moon card here, this may be a particularly emotional day. It may be a sensitive day. Whatever may have happened in the past that has caused us to just not focus on our emotions anymore because maybe it was too painful. With the Moon today, it's really about opening up those gates once again. And allowing our emotions to come to the surface, allowing ourselves to feel, not just to think about how we should feel about certain situations. That's the first step towards healing, recovery, okay, with this energy. And that's our opportunity for today: emotional healing, emotional recovery, and finding the balance between our rational minds and our emotional selves, finding that balance of knowing when it's okay to be rational and when it's okay to be emotional. It's a big process. It takes a lot of time. It takes effort. It's not easy to find the balance between what we feel and what we think. But we do have the opportunity to start that process today, okay, with these energies. And it's also about regaining confidence within ourselves and regaining confidence within our emotions and our intuition. Maybe we blamed ourselves for being too emotional, for being gullible, for being too naive, for being too good of a person, and that's why we have experienced pain in our past. But today, with the Moon card here, it's about allowing our intuition to come back to the surface. To be something that we pay attention to and that we try to use as best as we can. These the sensitivity that we may be experiencing today, it's not a bad thing, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that if our emotions are trying now to come back to the surface, it's a sign that we're doing better, and we're ready to heal, and we're ready to allow ourselves to feel again, and to focus on our emotions, and to focus on our instincts, and to focus on our intuition. And the energy that we're moving into tomorrow with, we have the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups is about fresh starts and new energy when it comes to our emotional selves. So really today is a day for emotional healing, which leads to more types of healing, which opens the door for more types of healing and balance to be restored in our lives with this energy. Now, on a more mundane day-to-day type of level, these energies can translate into having experienced a really bad breakup or divorce or betrayal in our past. We've locked our hearts away. Today with the Moon card, something happens or we meet someone that kind of sparks something within ourselves, within our hearts, and we have a choice of whether or not we want to open that portal once again. And then moving into the future, this may open the door for new love to come into our lives. This can also apply with trusting ourselves around people, or trusting our instincts when it comes to business, or trusting our instincts when it comes to who we trust in our lives, family, friends, co-workers, etc. It could be an overall issue with self-confidence, okay, or even with self-forgiveness, because we may have blamed ourselves for something bad, or a big pain, sorrow, disappointment, or betrayal. We may have blamed ourselves for that. And today we have the opportunity, if we allow our emotions to come to the surface, if we allow ourselves to look at how we feel about things, we have the opportunity to see that, you know what, we're only human. Truthfully speaking, there's no reason to beat ourselves up about what may have happened. First of all, it's in the past. Secondly, no mistake is a mistake as long as we learn from it. Okay, and that opens the doors to self-forgiveness and trusting ourselves again, and trusting our intuitions again. Okay, our intuition. And so moving into the future, we are refreshed. We again can find the balance between our minds and our emotions, and this is about new energy that comes into our lives and sparking beautiful emotions such as joy and hope and excitement to come in. Our guidance card is Bronze, number 14, strengthen your body. So this is about strengthening ourselves, our emotional body, our mental body, our physical body, our spiritual body. With number 14 adding up to a 5, today is a day when we can make changes, when we can do things differently in a way that strengthens who we are, that strengthens our emotion, that strengthens our instincts, that strengthens our confidence, our sense of value and self-worth. And today's a day, okay, today's a day when we can make those changes. For some, it's going to start with giving ourselves a break. It's going to start with self-forgiveness. For others, it's going to start with taking a chance on our instincts again. You know, where something happens and we feel like we should go for it, and we actually go for it. We may not have all the information available. We may not be able to explain things perfectly well at this stage, but our intuition really is shouting that we should go for it. And we trust it for a change. We say, okay, I'll go with it. And that opens the doors to trusting ourselves even more moving forward and acting on our own wisdom and our own instincts and our own beliefs. So today we have the opportunity to make those changes. Okay, today we have the opportunity to say, okay, well, I've been used to doing things a certain way, and I've kind of been used to having my guard up and being ready to fight and being ready to protect myself and being ready to stand up for myself. And I've been on the defensive, anticipating some sort of an attack. And today I feel differently. Today I feel like looking at things from a different perspective, trying a new approach. And I choose to go with it. It does need to be a choice. No one can do this for us or instead of us. It has to be our choice whether or not we want to address these issues, bring them to the surface so that we can heal them, so that we can resolve them, and then rebirth, recharge, regenerate ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And our emotional selves, of course. So it looks like a really good day. It looks like very positive energy here because we have the opportunity to put certain issues to rest, to restore our confidence within ourselves and our instincts and our emotions, to allow ourselves to let our guard down just a little bit, to be more forgiving with ourselves and those around us perhaps. And that really is how we bring new energy into our lives and a new balance into our lives and peace and hope for the future. Okay, so I hope the messages make sense and I hope they help if you're dealing with these energies, whenever you're dealing with the energies. We try to put a time frame on it, but it really is on divine time. So whenever you're going to hear the message, that's when you're meant to, because that's when it will do you the most good. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for all your support, for your likes, for your shares, for subscribing, for commenting, for following me on social media, everything and anything that you do to support me. I appreciate it. Your weeklies are now posted, so I hope you enjoy them. And I hope we all have an absolutely beautiful day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.